Hello there everybody and welcome back to Sunshine Islands. It is the 29th day of summer today, which brings us right to the Summer Crop Festival. And this year's theme is corn. I let a few pieces of my corn grow out for quite a long period of time before I picked them because I wasn't sure if I was actually going to have corn in order to be able to compete today. But as you can see, I have 2 pieces of S rank corn, which is not too shabby. That will definitely make sure that I win, although I have not lost a crop festival to this date, which is really nice. And as you can see, I did have both sets of corn and both sets of tomatoes come in yesterday, so I actually did have more corn if I needed it. So I'm going to just pick these and use my sickle to get rid of the plants because we're not going to get any more off of these for this season and they're going to die in the fall anyways. But I managed to get, I think, 3 or 4 harvests of tomatoes and corn off of those, so I'm quite happy with that. I managed to get quite a few onions as well, and I even got a batch of pumpkins, which is good. Much better than we did last summer. The rice still has not come in, but as you can see here, we have 2 fully grown apple trees. And once they reach this mature stage, they need about 3 days to grow flowers on them. And once you see the flowers on the trees, usually that will indicate that you can start to get some fruit off of them. Now, normally the trees will flower in the season before they're set to give you fruit. So these apple trees would start to flower in the summertime in order to be ready for the fall. I'm hoping that they're still going to flower and give us some fruit in the fall, but because we're so close to the end of the summertime, I'm not too sure. And then our 2 banana trees have also completely gone into full bloom, which is great. The rest of these trees still have a little bit of work. It'll be interesting to see whether or not we can actually get some fruit off those apple trees. I mean, they are technically mature and fully grown, and we are getting into fall soon, so fingers crossed. It would be really nice to get a head start on shipping 100 fruit. I'm just going to do a very quick sweep here. It's already 3 p.m. so I can't dawdle too much. I want to make sure that I actually get over to the festival. I took care of all of my animals and I did some of my farm work before I started this video. And of course, while I was up looking at the trees, I didn't even think to water them, which was kind of silly because I have to go back and make sure that they're watered, but I can do that after the festival. And I guess I should also ship a few things as well before the cutoff period. I want to make sure. I'm going to ship a few corn. I'm going to also keep a few of them though, in order to be able to put them in my refrigerator. Corn and tomatoes, off the top of my head, I can't really think of a lot of recipes that they're in, so it's not worth it to me to keep a whole bunch of them. But I'll keep a few around just for the off chance that I do want to use them in something. Now, I'm probably going to just skip fishing altogether. I don't even think I brought my fishing rod. No, I left it at home. I did so much fishing at the fireworks festival that I have actually started to catch some medium-sized fish, which is awesome. But I'm completely fished out. I think by the time I gave up and I left the fireworks festival, I had 75 fish in my inventory, and I went in there with maybe 30 or 35. So I've definitely been taking the time to make use of the no time passing at these festivals, but I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna do some more fishing at our next festival instead. So I want to speak to everybody here, and as we speak to Chelsea, we can see that she has a purple heart, which was one of the little minor updates I was gonna let everybody in on. So we will be looking out for her heart event, her first one. We'll be able to watch that soon. Her hearts have finally moved. It's nice to see, because we've been giving her gifts for quite a while now. I know she's only just recently moved in, but she did move in at the start of spring, and her hearts have been very, very slow to move, just with the nature of how her gift giving works. So let's go ahead and win ourselves another wonderful. There's only a few times that I've either lost or not been able to compete in these festivals, and the reason for that usually is I just simply do not have the crop unlocked. I haven't shipped enough of the required crops in order to unlock seeds, or I haven't had enough crop points. But if that is an issue, that doesn't usually happen until the later years, year 4 or year 5. These first couple of years, everything is fairly easy to grow and to enter into the competition. So, thankfully, once again, we've won. This is probably the most reliable way to get wonderfuls, of course. And for fall, we're gonna have to grow her some carrots, which will be pretty easy. Carrots aren't too hard to grow. And she has a red wonderful for us, which isn't too bad. A red, of course, will increase our tool's range horizontally, so this might be a good one to put onto my sickle as I'm harvesting all of the rice. It'll let me harvest that a lot faster. I could put it on my watering can if I want to, and it would increase its range even more. But there's not really a ton of tools that the Red Wonderful is useful for. Again, it would have been super if I could have gotten an orange, or another green would have been great, because there's a lot of tools I could put the greens into. Even another yellow. But hey, beggars can't be choosers. We still won. That's still one more wonderful than what we had before, so I can't complain too much. So now that everything is open and everyone's back inside their houses, I'm gonna go over to Ganon's, and I want to have a look at what it's going to cost us in order to build a greenhouse. If we remember a few episodes ago, I hadn't raised Greenhouse Island, pardon me. I got Ganon to build me the bridge to Greenhouse Island. and the island is empty. We don't have a greenhouse just there waiting for us to use, unfortunately. So you can see that the greenhouse is 4,000 lumber. Yes, 4,000, with a price tag of $300,000. Or you can just pay Ganon basically $500,000 and he'll build it for you. I'm telling you right now, I definitely 100% just got him to build it for me outright when I played my game, because 4,000 pieces of lumber is ridiculous. Unless you have a ton of wonderfuls that allow you to get lumber left, right, and center, 4,000 is a very, very high number to get to. So once again, this is another reason that I was just not in a hurry to get the greenhouse island raised at all, because the greenhouse is not exactly an easy thing for us to have access to. And the other thing I thought I would mention is that the Maker Shed does have an upgrade, and as you can see, when we upgrade it, we'll also be able to put more makers into it. Currently, with the small size, we would be able to put a mayonnaise, a cheese, a yogurt, a butter maker, and a yarn maker inside of it. And with the upgrade, we can put other things inside, such as the seed maker, the thresher, the flour mill, and the quality improver. So it is necessary to have a larger maker shed. And this is another very, very pricey upgrade. 1,000 pieces of lumber is again quite a bit. Not as unreasonable as 4,000 pieces of lumber. And if you can manage to get the 1,000 pieces of lumber, you are going to save yourself a significant amount of cash. $5,000 with the lumber versus $60,000 without is a huge difference in price. That's probably the biggest difference that I've seen between using your own lumber versus all of his materials, because you definitely don't see that with the other upgrades. If you're looking at your house, you're looking at like a $20,000 difference. The chicken coop, again, you're looking at about a $25,000 difference, not a $55,000 to $60,000 difference. And my dark green sprites have still not come back from their resting period, so I'm not able to ask them for more help. My next step is probably going to be to use them to build me some makers. Use the decreased cost and put a few of those into the maker shed while I build up my lumber supply. Tomorrow is going to be a rainy day. I already checked the forecast, so I'm gonna put all my animals inside and I'm gonna go mining tomorrow. I'm gonna cook up a bunch of food and go mining. I'm running out of ore for Lily. I think I've got about 6 left. And it will also be a good opportunity for me to go and get some more adamantite. I haven't gotten any more orichalcum since I've expanded on my stamina bar, since I used the orichalcum to make the accessory to increase my stamina. And it will also be just a little bit of extra money for me as well. So in the next couple of days, I'm just gonna have to keep an eye out on the rice field. I need to make sure that my rice is going to come in and I don't leave it too long so that it all withers and dies. That's very, very important. I need to make sure to water my trees before I go to bed today too, because they need their water. I have to keep an eye on the apple trees, the fully mature apple trees. I want to see, of course, if I'm going to be able to get anything from them this season upcoming. I hope so. I should have a couple more trees that'll be probably grown in by the end of fall too, I hope. Once again, fingers crossed. And I no longer have any crops or anything to look after. Like I said, it's going to be raining tomorrow, so I'm going to go mining because I don't have to worry about watering my trees or anything like that either. So if we have a look at our assets, I've done fairly well. I haven't had to worry about money, which is fantastic. That gives us a good opportunity to save for a few things. I'll be able to buy seeds and stuff like that as we get into fall. I've got almost 200 pieces of lumber saved up in my shed. I have to dump what I have in my inventory in there just to increase that number a little bit. You can see here that I just barely made a profit this month. I spent quite a bit of money, but at the same time I also made quite a bit of money as well, so it's not like I can really complain. A couple of upgrades such as the bridge I decided to pay for with my own money, and that kind of stuff adds up. But there were a lot of festivals this summer and I did a lot of fishing, which helped with my money. I've been selling more of the foraged goods. The animals, of course, are giving me stuff to sell every single day, and I had a pretty steady flow of crops to sell as well. All the animals are doing well. They're all healthy. You can see that their hearts are really starting to take off and increase. Our cows' hearts have reached 7. I don't think it's going to reach 8 in time for us to compete in the cow festival, which is a little bit of a shame. Putting Wonderfuls inside of the brush to increase its friendship and also leaving it outside has made a huge difference. You can see that my sheep is also doing fairly well. All of the wild animals are doing really well, and I'm continuing to give gifts to the wild animals. And of course, we now have the ability for the ducks to come and work for us. Not much has changed in these other categories. I now have the ability to start catching medium fish, so I have worked on my fishing level pretty significantly. I'm pretty proud of that. I've been putting a lot of effort forth to actually change that for myself. And you can see here that we still haven't shipped a lot of tomatoes and corn overall because they take so long to come in, but we did a lot with onions this year. Onions were our fast growing crop, and I only shipped 6 of the 9 pumpkins that I grew. Pumpkins are so slow. If I want to grow more pumpkins next year, I think I'll probably have to just make a big part of my field just primarily pumpkins and have them all come in sort of at the same time. Nothing much has changed with friendship levels at all. There's nothing really to say there. I haven't had any more harvest sprites move in or anything at all either. And any upgrade that I've done, I've already kind of told you guys about. So summer was pretty good overall. We got ourselves a few sunstones, we got ourselves a few upgrades, and our trees have really taken off. Hopefully we'll be able to take care of the rice paddy soon. And I will probably be back on fall day 1. Like I said, tomorrow is going to be a rainy day. I'll probably just play that day normally, do some mining, and then I'll be ready to start fall off fresh and see what fall has in store for us. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you next time.